Welcome back, dear viewers. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about the initiative launched by the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research. The initiative focuses on the importance of the scholarships and tourism, educational tourism. And today we are joined by Dr. Nabil, an educational expert, and he's going to talk to us more about the importance of this initiative. Good morning, Dr. Nabil.
Good morning, Ms. Shereen.
So, under the auspices of President Fattah al-Sisi, Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Dr. Ayman Ashur, launched the Egyptian Initiative for Scholarships and Educational Tourism. Can you talk to us more about this initiative?
I think this initiation happened a couple of days ago, March 7th, including 7 principles for the international communication and the reference on which the Egyptians inviting these scholars from different countries to come to Egypt for educational tourism. And this could be a new term that has never been used before. However, this is really based on an international level, as Dr. Ayman Ashur mentioned in his speech last Monday, that suits Egyptian position, that ensures the pioneer role of Egypt, that plays the part of supporting and building science and knowledge for the foreign or the new future generations. I think he also mentioned in his speech that we seek that establishments and Egyptian universities to be on the fourth generation that supports the scientific and cultural enhancement in Egypt and the sister countries from which these scholars come. I think he also mentioned that there are 7 principles of the scholastic awards given to such foreign students. All scholars learn together, and we have the logo of to say, we care for you. You are in your second country, which is Egypt, of course. You are an integrated character. You are creative, and you are ambassadors to your country. And assuring that we prepare the suitable atmosphere for such students coming to Egypt, to let them be indulged in the process of creativity within the educational process with the Egyptian universities, to let them benefit and to create what they have in the field of their study. Plus devoting themselves to the study and linking some work companies in Egypt, whether the private sector or the general sector, to be locally, regionally, and internationally, to be the pioneers in well-equipped ideas in the universities, and to be pioneers of the labor market in the future. Maybe I can shed more light about drawing the attention to the new scholastic awards for this program is based on preparing an integrated and a graduate who is capable of being a labor pioneer, besides getting the most up-to-date programs of the international characteristics. And the universities we have now, we have a variety of universities. I'm so proud to hear that Cairo University, for instance, which is a governmental university, has achieved to be one of the 50 top universities of the world. So this is a very good rank, and we wish to have more and more in the very near future. So the cooperation and the grants given to the foreign students coming to Egypt are a lot. I think they will be given 50% of the educational fees, apart from the old scholarships given that were free. That will continue. And I think there is a requirement that students should achieve at least 70% of what's equal to the Thanawi Amma, general secondary school education, and 25% for the high education, the postgraduate studies. So these are all means of encouragement for all those who seek coming to Egypt, not only for education, but for new term that I really admire so much, the educational tourism. That's why there are so many of the ministers like General Engineer, Major General Engineer Kamil Wazir, Dr. Nabil Kidani, I think, and so many of the ministers, the minister also of the civil aviation, that will give very good discount, not only to the students who come to Egypt, but even to their families who come to Egypt. So this is a very good asset to tourism in general.
So, Dr. Nabil, the initiative, yes. The initiative also seeks to make all Egyptian institutions and universities among the fourth generation entities that support science and culture in Egypt and brotherly countries. The importance of these steps, in your opinion?
Yes, the importance of this is that the fourth generation, currently in Egypt, we don't have only the governmental universities, we have also private universities, and recently, last year, the creation of the national universities. Plus, the international universities like the AUC, the DUE, the German GUE, the King Salman's universities that are in Sinai, I think in Atur, Ras Sidr, and Sharm el-Sheikh. And this is a value-added asset to the quality of education that we have in Egypt. And of course, all these universities are well equipped with the most up-to-date requirements for the students to be researchers, to be thinkers, and we hope that all the rising generation would acquire during this period of time. We have to create people who are, as I said before, ambassadors for their countries in Egypt, and Egypt will have its undeniable effect on them. And you know something, so many of the Malaysians, Indonesians who studied in Egypt before go back to their native land, and they hold key positions in their government. Some of them became ministers. And this also is something to be proud of. And they have the sincerest relationship with the Egyptian people and the Egyptian government in general.
Yes. So, Dr. Nabil, also, what, in your opinion, is the significance of creativity and innovation centers in Egyptian universities? To what extent can foreign students benefit from them in order to innovate while studying?
This idea is concerned with the scholars themselves. As I always say, gone are the days when it is only the knowledge comes from books, to be bookish. But now anyone can search whatever he or she wants to get from Google and to add his own ideas. I usually think that when we have some essays written by students applying for such scholarships, we give them a debatable topic of an essay, and we do evaluate them according not to the positive points and negative points they mention. We evaluate them according to their ideas. What your opinion is, what's your viewpoint, what are your suggestions, what are your recommendations, exactly as is Same thing happens in the postgraduate theses. When the last chapter of the thesis, whether for the master's degree or the PhD degree, to have recommendations to be followed. So we are in bad need of such recommendations, and these students, when they know how to think, to be thinkers, as I really wish for all our Egyptian young rising generation to be thinkers, not only having the exam and that's it, and they close the books and throw them away, as we used to see in the past, but to have continuing education. There is one of the faculties in the private universities called the School of Continuing Education. That's exactly in the AUC. And we find so many people from different jobs, even elderly people who come to have courses in English, maybe in business, whatever. And when they were asked, why do you come at this age, which is over 70 or something? They say, our grandkids come to us and they learn in language schools, and we want to cope with them. So we are increasing our knowledge of the language, practicing it, and so forth. That's what I heard once, or I read maybe, in one of the Japanese who is about 80 years of age. And he still studies because education or knowledge never ends. And I do believe in a very good saying that states that knowledge is a great treasure. The key to which is the question mark, is to search, to look for the items you need, and to add more to it. As the late Dr. Ahmed Zuaid did before, that he added something new. Anyone who gets a Nobel Prize for Peace usually is given or awarded such award for the addition, he said, in different fields of life, different activities. So we hope that these scholars will do the same. And they have to know that we care for them, that they are in their second country, as I mentioned earlier, and they are integrated characters. They will be creative, and they are ambassadors to the country. And our country, beloved country, Egypt, will be deeply in their thinking all through their lives.
Yes. Dr. Nabil, also how important is the launch of the educational visa for foreign students, through which foreign students obtains all rights related to his residence during his study period in Egypt?
Yes, of course, this entry visa to Egypt and maybe multi-entrance, not only for them, even for their families. That will encourage not only the scholars coming from different countries and their families, but this will also encourage and be an incentive to all their friends, neighbors, countrymen, when they say, oh, that family has come to Egypt to visit their child, I mean student, who's studying in Egypt. So they will be the same. There will be then an encouragement. And it is free propaganda for them. So this visa will get more visas for other people from different countries to come and enjoy visiting Egypt, having the history of ancient civilization, or for that nobody in the whole world denies.
Yes, also the government is paying great attention to technical education. Can you shed light on government efforts to support this kind of education?
Well, I think recently there is a university for applied technology. And there are even secondary school level schools, I mean, for the applied technology. I do remember the Mubarak Call project that was in the past. And I think the future is now, for the labor market in particular, is for the graduates of these applied technological schools. Let me remember something else I would like to mention that I read in the news, the current news, couple days ago, that Major General Kamil al-Wazir, the engineer, also, I think, gave a speech in the conference, and he mentioned the network of roads and overpasses done in Egypt that facilitate traffic, and it would be so easy and in shorter time than before to reach any place, whether in the remote areas like Aswan, Mars Alam, Hargada. Even the governor of the Red Sea also, the governor of Sinai, mentioned some of the facilities given, including very good 4 or 5-star hotels. And of course, this will encourage, and maybe the tourist company coming from abroad get their contracts with these people. And the network, believe me, Ms. Shireen, the network now we have in Egypt is similar, of roads I mean, it's similar to what I have seen with my own eyes in the USA, in Britain, in even KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So good roads lead to civilization. And the part of Dr. Kamil Wazir in this will always be remembered with gratitude. I think also Dr. Kilani, the Minister of Culture, has also, as I read in the news, has given, I think, 50% discount for the tickets for entering the opera, the playhouses, and museums could be. So that would be also added to the incentives given to these scholars and their families and their friends who would come to Egypt for not only the educational tourism, but for the religion tourism, for the educational tourism, for the cultural tourism, for historical tourism. So that will be a very well-noted plan to enhance and let us progress and advance more and more for a very fruitful future for our generation, especially the rising generation who now consists about 60-something of the number of population in Egypt.
Yes, Dr. Nabil, also one final question. How do you evaluate also efforts to develop the curriculums to meet demands of the business market?
Yes, developing the curriculum for each course, whether in the secondary level, I mean secondary or prep or even primary level, it's also now touching the graduate level and university level, and the advance is, they are all advancing. They benefit from others. We heard about the twinning of universities, the foreign universities, the private universities we have in Egypt. This is really a very good idea to share. We really say 2 heads are better than 1. So our consultation with these universities, whether abroad or in Egypt, and the ideas we exchange together will be having its own impact on the courses and the syllabi to be taught in different stages of education, whether in high education or before the high education.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Nabil Gad, an educational expert. Thank you, sir, for being with us, and your viewers should break